This is a very impromptu video, but good morning, Diamonds of the Earth. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, there's a topic I kind of want to delve into. There's more drama online than ever before when it comes to being hurt by people, I would say. And this is kind of more so of a, not PSA. You can't depend on people to be the catalyst of your healing journey. I think most of us can say, or most of us can agree, that we have been hurt in some way, shape, or form in our life, whether it be something that some may call a minor situation, some people would call a major situation. I think all of us can agree that during our life at some point in time, we've been hurt by somebody. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because I was watching a video. I'm not going to say what the video was. I think some of you might know what it is, but I'm not going to talk about it. But essentially, the major theme in the video is that the individual wanted the person they were talking to, the person that they were referencing, they wanted that person to apologize, and that apology would be the start of their healing journey. I think when it comes to healing, if you put your healing journey on someone else, then you're not going to heal from whatever it is that you're going through. It doesn't matter how much a person apologizes. I think, again, I don't know, I would say most of us can agree, if you are putting your growth on someone else, and if you put your growth on someone else, you're not gonna grow. Mainly because they don't feel what you were feeling, right? So the responsibility that you put on another person to essentially grovel at the idea of them hurting you and then apologizing and groveling even more and all that stuff, that's not going to happen. I think like cancel culture kind of showed that with, well, at least how cancel culture is now. When it first was a thing, it did take out a lot of people, I would say. But now it's to the point where cancel culture can do what they want as much as they want, but then at the same time, for those that really don't care, or for those that don't feel the need to continue groveling in their apology, they tend to be fine. They tend to not go through anything in their career, or they tend not to like have to deal with anything like that. For the most part, they are perfectly fine, especially if they don't grovel. Some of them will make reference to whatever it is that they're being canceled for. They'll talk about it for a moment and they'll say, yeah, I already spoke about this. I've already apologized over it, or whatever the case may be. I'm not going to continue apologizing for something that happened like 10 years ago. And I don't think there's a problem with that. But I think that is kind of like an example of what this thing is. Like the expectation for the person to grovel and for them to like continue to ruminate over how they hurt you. Like that's kind of like the expectation that you want. And really and truly, if we're real, they're not going to do that, because really and truly they shouldn't have to, especially if they've already apologized for a situation. Why should they need to grovel over how they treated you? They should be able to grow just as much as you want yourself to grow. But to put that aside, it's mainly just a conversation of apologizing or expecting your growth to begin with the apology that someone else gives you. I think there's also the other aspect of the way you want someone to apologize. So like every way that they could possibly apologize to you, sometimes it feels like they don't mean it. So you want them to do it a specific way. And really and truly, I think personally that that's expecting too much. I think it's expecting a lot when you want them to apologize the way that you want them to apologize versus, because words are just words, right? So actions definitely mean something more. If these people say that they're sorry and they don't change their actions, I get it. Like, that sucks. But if they don't say the apology that in the way that you want them to, but they genuinely as an individual have changed, I think that's a better form of apology, or it's another form of apology. I don't know. Either way, like, I think it's irresponsible on our part to place our growth and put the dependent of our growth on someone else and pretty much make it as though if they don't apologize, then they are restricting me from growing. And no, you're restricting yourself from growing because you're putting so much expectation on them to give you the okay for you to continue growing, if that makes sense. Like, you're pretty much waiting for them to say the right words in order for you to feel like it's okay now for you to grow past the situation. If you don't want to grow past the situation, you won't. But just like if you genuinely want to get past the situation, then you will. You'll take the time, you put the work in for yourself to grow from that situation so that you're not triggered easily when that situation is brought up again. And I think right now, with the situation I'm referencing, to give a little bit more detail, the individual has been posted for like 2 years. And then now they've returned, and in them returning, the first video that they're referencing, or the first video that they put out, is a video speaking to a past relationship that failed. Again, in my opinion, during the time that you two stopped being friends, the expectation for them to come and apologize for whatever the situation was, I don't know. I think that it's something that you, as the individual, should work on within yourself instead of expecting someone else to, be the catalyst of your healing. I don't know. Maybe you guys disagree. If you do, leave comments down below because I'm open to discussing it. But I don't think that it's right for you to place sole responsibility on the other individual to say that they need to be the catalyst of your healing, especially when it comes to, like, I think about all of us. Again, we've hurt people. We're not the saints that we think we are, even though sometimes it looks like we can convince ourselves of that. We can convince ourselves that, oh, I've never hurt a person a day in my life, or whatever the case may be. I don't know that. I can't say that that's true, because we are not angels, or we're not saints in everyone's stories. Some people's stories, we're villains. In some people's stories, we are the people that have hurt them, and either we know it or we don't know it, or we're convincing ourselves that it never really happened the way that we know it happened. We're the villain in some people's stories. That's life. It is what it is. So when it comes to that now too, you are expecting someone else to be the catalyst of your healing when someone else is probably expecting you to be the catalyst of their healing. To which I say, that's why our responsibility is to make sure that we heal for ourselves and we move past the situation. If you are still hurting over a situation that happened, 2 years ago? Like, more than that, you're hurting over something that happened so long ago. I'm not saying that you don't have a right to feel hurt. I'm saying that there should be efforts to try to move beyond the situation, depending on what the situation is, but there should be efforts to move beyond that situation. I take that back. Every situation, there should be efforts to move beyond the situation. Heal for yourself. Healing looks different for everybody. So I'm not saying that you keep that person in your life. If it means taking that person out of your life in order for you to heal, take the person out. You don't have to have every person in your life. If you say you've healed, You don't need to have that person in your life. But the main aspect of healing is that when that person is mentioned or when a situation is referenced, you're not triggered by it, or it doesn't spark an immediate reaction of you need to, like, crying or whatever the case may be. Like, you're able to hear the situation and maybe you feel a little tinge of emotion, but for the most part it's not anything major because you've healed from it, you know? So that's mainly where I'm getting at. Don't allow people to have so much control over you to the point where you expect them to apologize in order for you to get healing, or you expect them to do an action in order for you to get some form of relief or healing or whatever the case may be. Don't give someone else that much power over your emotions. Be more in control of your emotions. Not everything's meant to be reaction. And yeah, that's mainly it. That's mainly what this video is about. You guys might know what this is about. If you don't, then I'm sure you guys will hear about it soon because I've seen more and more people talk about it. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this little ramble, then, and if you want, like, subscribe, comment, whatever you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, my loves.